Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 5th episode of Nono on podcast. This is your host, Nono, speaking. I trust that you are fantastic and well and happy in this day. It's indeed a very good day for us Africans as well, because we are celebrating and enjoying being African on this day, 1963, May 25th, where the Organization of African Unity, OAU, decided to come together and build a home for all Africans, to unite and to come and talk about issues as idlumzi. So today we are celebrating this day as it is the 25th of May 2020, and as an African I want to say Happy Africa Day, everybody born in Africa and in the diaspora. This is a day to feel proud and a day to feel joyous, because this is the day God has made to make it possible for us to talk about this day, 25th of May 1963 in Ghana, at the commemoration of Africa independence from colonial imperialists, and then this is the freedom we fought for. This is the justice we fought for. So I want you to be proud of this day, because this day has a huge impact in our lives. Now, what I want to say also about this day is that our leaders like our fathers, our founding fathers of Ghana, our founding fathers, the Emperor of Addis Ababa, Haile Selassie, our founding fathers of all other African nations who got together to fight for the freedom of Africans. We want to say all hail to you, the kings of kings, the lions of lions. We want to say all hail to you, our African leaders, because you stood up, and you stood up right and upright to fight for the justice of Africans who were suffering under colonial rule from Europeans who wanted to cut Africa into pieces, who managed to do so. But with your fight and with your perseverance, we are here today standing tall and standing proud that we were never alone. We had leaders, we have leaders who fought for us, and we have leaders who are still continuing to fight for the total liberation of an African child in an African soil. So I want to praise those leaders. I want to say thank you to those leaders, because without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. Remember now that in those years, 1963, 1954, a country like ours in South Africa, a country like Angola, a country like Mozambique, a country like Rhodesia would not even be there. They wouldn't even be allowed by the apartheid government to be there, to go and do what other African countries are doing. Because we haven't even found our liberation yet. We haven't even found our freedom yet. We were still suffering under oppression rules, injustices in South Africa, for an example, way up until 1994, when now we could join the Africa Union in Addis Ababa and be one family with those other African countries. Well over 30 countries presented themselves to fight for decolonization of our countries. I mean, that deserves a round of applause, because they stood up for us. They spread their wings for us. They were ready to die for the freedom of their for the freedom of the other fellow brothers. You understand? So I'm so proud to be an African. I'm so proud to call myself an African. Yes, we were under apartheid, we were under injustices, but where we are today, we are a liberated Africa. Remember, South Africa as well, those years, they were the Liberation Party, the ANC, the African National Congress. They couldn't go to Addis Ababa, okay? So, fast forward today, the president of South Africa is the chair or the president of the African Union, and we had a woman chair, the first woman chair in African Union, because the men, the leaders of Africa, they trusted a woman enough and said, you know what, you run the chair, you become the chair, you tell us what we need to do. African leaders, they put an African woman up high and put an African woman in a place where she can spread her wings and protect her children of Africa. And Mama Nkosazana Zuma did amazing. She had a vision of unity in Africa. She had a vision she worked on a 2063 agenda, which is a long-term vision where Africa should be in 50 years' time. Remember, Africa is not going anywhere. Africa is always going to be Africa for eternity. So we must have a long-term vision, how we're going to protect our Mother Earth, our Mother Africa. And she did exactly that. I'm so proud of her, because she did. The results, they speak for themselves. When you look at the ambassador of America, of the Africa Union in America, Dr. Arikana Chihomboriko, she went there with her guns, and she went to speak the truth, to awaken the Africans around the world. I don't think she knew the impact she was going to make, but she went to go there as a soldier, and she did mention many times that I was sent here by my leadership. I was sent here by Mrs. Nkosazana Zuma to come here to speak with you, my children, to come home to Africa. And, I'm here to call all of you to come back home. So she did an amazing work, because the head children of Africa, they actually had her call. We had her call. And from today and from that time, we know what we need to do. What we need to do is to go back home to Africa and help and bring what we know, so that we can be a bigger and a better Africa. Yes, the past has really put us back. like for the past 400 years behind everybody else. We are 400 years behind. Some countries we are 500 years behind. But where we are as Africans, look at us. We are proud of ourselves. It didn't even take 200 years to get back to where we're supposed to be. I remember the times in the 60s where we looked like clowns. We thought having some kind of other people's hair is a thing. But looking today, all those things that I think of the past, they don't matter because an African mind is liberated yet again. Okay? An African mind is celebrating her diversity. Okay? We are proud to be Africans. And I want you to think today, what makes you to be a proud African? Because we Africans, we have so much in common, but we have yet so much in difference. We have so much in diversity. We dress differently. We eat differently. But when you look at, we speak different languages. But when you look at it, we actually have one common ground. And that common ground is one home, one umbrella. And it's one place that is we call home, which is called Africa. So, thank you to our Pan-African leaders who decided to undergo that damage control that the Berlin Conference did in 1885 or 1884. France, Britain, all those Boston people in Europe, that Berlin Conference was about to divide and conquer Africa. That's why today we have a map of Africa which is chopped into smaller and smaller pieces. Okay? It is a painful part of our past that we are proud to know and to learn from, because now we are enlightened. And it's also a part of our present, because we are still fighting and fixing that damage that the colonialism era did to Africa. Okay? Burundi, Rwanda, Togo, Benin, they fought. There were smaller countries. They fought, but how do you fight against a whole continent when you are one country? These people organized. They organized in Europe. They organized all their countries. They brought them together and they said, you know what? Let's unite in the name of colonization. Let's share Africa. Let's cut it into what we can benefit from. Look at the gold we have in Africa. Look at the mines we have in Africa. Look at the mountains, the nature we have, the plants, the herbs. Everything we have in Africa is organic, is authentic. They wanted that. So they went and they took. It makes me to feel so bad when I see our strong black men struggling under the hot sun, working for the benefit of somebody else or for the benefit of another country. The cocoa farms in Ghana, the mines, the gold mines in Burundi, the gold mines in South Africa, the diamond mines. People work for a penny, for what the whole world is holding in their hands, is putting in their ring fingers. You understand? So, my brothers and sisters, I want you today to have that undying love for Africa, because she has been through a lot. She's been through a lot, from slave trade. She's been through a lot from wars, colonialism, kingdoms were broken, religions were introduced, that even languages were broken up into pieces. As Dr. Arikana would say, how do you cut and put France next to a French-speaking colonial country next to an English colonial country, and then divided by a Portuguese colonial country? It was impossible for us to communicate after that, because our languages were not even allowed to be spoken. They separated us, even in our own countries, where we see the after effects that colonialism and apartheid did in our countries. Bantu speaking people this side, Xhosa speaking this side, Zulu speaking this side, Tswana speaking this side, Sotho speaking that side, Venda over there, they separated us geographically so that we won't be able to communicate and speak and show the love for one another the way we used to. We used to have kingdoms. We used to have ogumkani, chiefdoms, So, yes, we had our own issues in Africa, but we never had a problem of hating one another because of not understanding each other's languages. So, my brothers and sisters, on this Africa Day, we are our sisters' keepers, okay? We have to love ourselves so much that it is impossible to separate us. We have to love each other so much that, we need not to forget our people where we come from. We need to love our people where we left them, because that is where we came from. I'm talking now to Africans in the diaspora. There's Irish also in the diaspora. There's Jewish in the diaspora. There's Chinese. Everybody is spreaded. Okay? We might not be all physical. And now I think it's more important that we are not all in one place, because we need to see exactly what is going on in the world first-handedly. Some of us need to be here so we can look at how things are done, by the same colonialists and the same people who came to colonize our countries. We need to come and report back to you what I've learned and what I've noticed. Okay? So we have a nation also here now, younger generation of Africans who are born outside Africa. So we need to be here so we can be their guidance. Because trust me, my brothers and sisters, if we are not here, they will be lost here. They won't know any sense of belonging. Okay? They won't know. So we need to be here to guide and protect our children. We need to be here to see that human rights is served. Those who are strong to face the Western world need to be here. We don't mean to sell each other out, but we need to be here. And once we decide to go, we need to go as a united force. I'm so sorry. I just had some tea, some onion tea, and this thing is always happening when I'm live. It keeps coming up and I keep burping. So my apologies. But I'm so excited about today. Thank you to leaders like Kwame Nkrumah. Thank you to leaders like Haile Selassie. We thank you. We thank you, Marcus Garvey. We thank you, Leader Malcolm. We thank you, Malcolm X. We thank you to all our African leaders who fought for the freedom of an African child. In South Africa, we thank you, Robert Sobukwe. We thank you, Leader Stephen Biko. We thank you so much because leaders like you, they stood up when the whole world couldn't. We thank you, Onkhuputse Tiro. We thank you so much for your courage of looking into the future and seeing that you're going to free your black brothers and sisters and you're going to live until that idea is done. And may your souls rest in peace. So, my brothers and sisters, that is what I have for today. Remember, we are our brothers' keepers. We are our sisters' keepers. And we have to be proud of being Africans. One Africa, one nation. The AU was not a mistake when our leaders created it. It was a home for us all to go and cry if there's a problem and fix if there's a problem. But we mustn't think that we are alone. Okay? I am also surprised that there are also African Union, there's a Pan-African Parliament in Benin, I think in Johannesburg. We need to find out the places where we can go and address issues. Okay? We have the minerals, we have the families, we have the land. We want everything that belongs to us back to us. So we have to keep talking, keep fighting for what belongs to our forefathers. Okay? So we can't allow colonizers to colonize our minds over and over and over again. Okay? So, excuse me, Galo Mazwi, before I fall sick live on the podcast, because I'm sneezing. And so, Galo Mazwi, ndizamukuthi, let's keep rocking on. Let's keep the revolution going. We need justice for Africa. We need justice because even Bob Marley said, justice, that's all we need. Even Peter Tosh said, there's no peace without justice. Okay? So we don't care about peace. What we care about is justice. Justice for Africa. So celebrate yourselves, my brothers and sisters. The food we are eating, the clothes we are wearing. Keep rocking those colors. Keep rocking those dashikis. Keep rocking those African authentic designs. You know, let's do this. Keep rocking your African hair. Keep rocking your natural self. Because there's nothing more beautiful than being yourself, your authentic self. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? I see me. I see God's creation. I see someone who is amazing, who is beautiful, who's knowledgeable, who's willing to learn, who is living, who is breathing. So I'm proud, right? I'm proud. Dira, are you proud? Yep. We're proud. Yes, we're proud, baby. So, Ngalo Mazwi, bantu bakithi ndithi Happy Africa Day. Happy Africa Day. 25th of May is our day to celebrate. So let's celebrate and remember, only God can free us from the burdens of this earth. So let's stay humble. Let's stay connected to the source. Let's stay respectful of our elders, because by doing so, we're going to get more knowledge, more wisdom, and let's be willing to learn more from our leaders. Like every day, I'm listening to Abo Professor Lumumba, to Abo Leader Mtama, Abo Pastor Kosana. There is so many people I'm listening to every day. Like my mind is exploding with different, but the same message of love of Africa, fighting for Africa. Listening about Joshua Mabonga, my bishop, I'm so proud of our black leaders who are fighting and who are putting and risking their lives and educating and awakening the black people of Africa. So, diabulela kakhulu kuni nonke, because without you, we wouldn't be here where we are today. So the journey continues. Aluta continua. Amako.